Hello, you guys. Welcome to the show. It is Monday. I am ready. Today we're going to talk about Quinn's exit. And I'm not really happy about the way Quinn exited it, but that's what we got. We didn't have a whole lot of time, so let's get into it. Hey, Sam, Lady Sanchez, Miss Quinn Libra, and Stefan over here. And over on YouTube, Vicky and Louisa are here, and Louisa is listening from Germany. Hey, Electrostorm, it's
Oh,
in Germany, and she's up joining us. So we appreciate
wow.
your presence, Louisa.
Yes. Hey, Louisa.
Because, girl, I don't know that I would be the one up at 1 o'clock in the morning and listen to people talk about soaps. And you stay with us for the full 2 hours, so you're not even going to bed until 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't do that, but I appreciate that you do.
That's awesome. We love her.
And no, Electrostorm, you did not miss anything today except for Quinn's last appearance. And that was so dry for me, y'all. I don't know what to
Yeah.
make of that. Like they made it seem like she was dying because they put that hazy cloud around them. Was it my TV or did they just really do that?
It was the lights was kind of dim in the office, but I think it was just the mood. So I don't know. So is that it? What's gonna happen next, Bubbles? I
That's
mean,
it. That's it. She's gone. There's no more Quinn. So, like I told y'all, Carter will probably tell us that she went to go change clothes, or she went to take a nap, or she went to go visit Shauna or something. She was working on jewelry today, so maybe they'll say she had to go to Antwerp and get some gems or something because um, this is the first time we've even seen her working on jewelry in a while. So she's sitting
yeah,
De Leon, what is that boy's name? Zende. She's sitting there with Zende talking about what pieces matches, and she's so proud of him. Like, y'all
yeah,
talking like Quinn done. But I love the scene with Zende and Quinn today because they have not had a lot of scenes together in the past. And today
yeah.
was beautiful. Like, I felt like Zende and Quinn could have been friends, except they
Right.
gave him a chance. We never
Same
got to
here.
Yeah.
see any of that.
Wasn't my
Well, they
Zende
had a,
cute today?
That's
they
her
were.
grandson-in-law for all intents and purposes. Zende's her grandson, and we never saw them interact. But when we saw them today, it was magic. I was like, you know what? She probably could have fixed them between that boy and Paris if it hadn't went so wonky sideways and they knew what they was doing. They had Quinn in the wrong relationship.
Well, that's what I said. We was all saying that to begin with when they had Paris, and Carter and Zende. That the whole story was missing Quinn.
They had her in there for a little while. Remember when she made the
Just
ring for Zendaya to use to propose to Paris?
right.
She didn't
But you
like it.
remember though, after Quarter though, they had sent Quinn and Carter so far back in the deep off screen
They
that even when
did.
they did finally get them back together, it was like they didn't even have this tawdry affair where they were deeply in love. It was
Yeah.
a real letdown. And I could see why Rena got the hell out. I mean, she was just like being let down by the storylines, basically, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it's a weird little situation. And we may never actually know, but it just seems like a weird situation to me.
Well, she
So,
basically
but let
told
me
them
What,
she was
what
ask.
I wait? What did I pop in on? Good evening, everybody.
hey
Hey,
darling.
darling, we're talking about Quinn, but so is she gonna be one of those mentions we get of a character every 3 to 6 months, once or twice a year? Or are they gonna kill her off? I mean, what's gonna happen?
I told you she don't go had to go to the bathroom. They're not gonna kill Quinn.
No, that requires
So
work.
she'll just be a mention every now and again. We won't
They
see
gonna
her, but they'll mention.
mention her just about as much as they mention Felicia Forrester.
Or
They're
Exactly.
Maya.
Oh
gonna mention
my
her about as much as they mention Kristen Forrester. They're gonna mention her about as much as they mention Thorne Forrester. You get where I'm going? She ain't gonna be mentioned. I don't know why y'all ain't getting it. She
Right.
She
Just like Flo wasn't mentioned for almost a darn year. I
the
mean,
they
if
and
they
still
go away,
talk about Flo. And Wyatt
right.
is engaged to this woman.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. And,
and,
and Wyatt has been on screen and not mentioning a word about Flo. So it's going to be disrespectful to not just
and
her,
God.
as
but to us
hell.
viewers.
Yes, because here's the thing, and this is the truth. Now, part of the problem is that we have logical brains. So, and we know how popular Quinn is as a character in her own right. Whether she's with Court, whether she's with Carter, whether she's without Carter, Queen got a solid fan base of her own. So
Like
in our
Sally
heads,
Spectre did.
yeah. So in our heads, she's not a character who's reliant on a pairing to make her viable.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is soap character gold. You have so many characters who are one note and they are only as useful as whoever the hell they're paired with. And after
Mm,
that, there's nothing left. Quinn does not have that problem.
mm,
Amber
mm,
Moore did not have that problem.
mm,
Sally
mm,
Spectra did not have that problem.
mm,
When
mm,
you get characters who are viable all on their little lonesome, it's like gold in your hand. At least
mhm,
that's how you're supposed to treat it. So
mhm,
logically in our heads, all we got was like a soft, fadey, dissolved, dream looking whatever the hell. And that was the end of Quinn. No explanation, no nothing. And in our heads, we're thinking, okay, they've got to be doing something with this because this is a viable character. They're either going to write her out to kill her off, or maybe because we got such a non-factor of a of an ending for Rena's run as Quinn, maybe the plan is to recast her and they're just going to leave it at what. But
We
here's the
thought
thing.
the same thing about Zoe.
But exactly.
yeah.
But here's the thing. I stopped thinking like a logical person, like how I would think if I was a creator or a writer running a piece of creative drama and what I would be trying to do. And I thought like how bold. I stopped thinking like me and I started thinking like bold. And what I came to the conclusion is they're lazy as shit. We're not getting anything else as far as Quinn making an exit. What Bubble said is exactly right, meaning that she is just not going to be around, but they're not going to say anything about her being around. It's going to be like she became a ghost.
That's
Okay.
right.
So they're not going to write her out. They're not going to recast her. They're not writing her out to kill her character off permanently because I gave it some thought, guys, and I said to myself, I said, "Self, when was the last time Bo actually really wrote somebody off and really wrote an actual exit for the character?" I'm not
Mhm.
talking about Zoe where Kara Barnes disappeared and then next thing we know we hear she's in Paris after the fact. I'm talking like a real on-screen exit. And then guess who that was? That was Stephanie. That was the
Yeah.
last
Oh,
person that got what?
oh yeah, because I was gonna say Phoebe, but you're right. It would have been
That
Stephanie.
that was the
Because you know the
mhm.
when Bridget and Nick and the Maronis all left, they just all up and decided to move.
Yeah. They just all decided to move and then they were gone and they were just off the canvas. The same thing with Rick Maya and Zende and Nicole. They just all mysteriously just went to Paris on business and then just never came their asses back.
And
And
even
that
when
was
half
the
the couple come back, they don't even explain where's the other half of the couple.
exactly. And the thing is, and that's what got me. It's what gotten us as bold viewers for a number of years. The rampant laziness. The fact of the matter is, they could have actually wrote exits for all those couples. They could have wrote exits for all those actors. They could have wrote an exit for Quinn, but they're too damn lazy to do it.
Like they
They
Days wrote an exit for Sin. Dan and
exactly.
Sierra Days wrote an exit for them, and then had to turn around and write an entrance for Alex.
Right, because Victoria Kaufman was leaving, but your boy Robert, what's his name, wasn't. So it was like, okay, that's fine. But the thing is, they're not gonna do anything. This is gonna keep in mind, we never even got an exit for Maya, y'all. She's still upstairs at Brook House.
What did
Yeah.
you say? She
Yeah,
upstairs
that
changing his diapers.
shy. Ooh,
And she's still
don't get me
upstairs with
started.
Lizzie at Brooks' house. We never, because I have always paid close attention. When somebody disappears on the show, I've always wanted an explanation about it. We
I
got more of an exit for Sally saying that she was moving, or with them saying, or with Wyatt telling Sally she needed to get out of LA, and she actually did get out of LA.
And
Okay,
that
fine.
was her exit story.
And that was,
That's as close
yeah,
as we're getting. She got an exit story.
she actually
exactly.
did get an exit story,
Yeah,
right?
that actually was an exit story. Well, because we all know we firmly believe they were gonna kill the character, and then
They
they
was
kind
gonna
of
kill her.
retconned
They
it
was gonna kill her
not
dead.
to. Exactly.
Hmm.
But the thing is, they were really so, and it, like I said it the other night or the other day on Bubble Spaces, they do not have an eye on their talent. Sam, you said it. Everybody who they don't have a plan for, they don't pay attention to. So when Rena didn't, my first thing is this: in what world does one of your contract people not re-sign their contract? Because her contract was up in what? She said July, right?
I think so.
She said her contract was up in July and she opted not to resign. So somebody needs to explain to me, like I'm five, how y'all got to that day in July and there was no plan on the floor. None.
That's the point. That's why Rena left. That is
Exactly.
It's
precisely
crazy.
the point.
Yeah.
Now listen. Now listen. Now watch this. Watch
Hmm.
this space. If we see an avalanche of other actors basically saying goodbye on social media or opting out of contracts, let's see. Katie Logan, Heather Tom, I'm sorry. Heather Tom. Lawrence, he writes, so he won't get a lot of screen time, but he'll definitely be writing, I'm sure.
Mm.
Who else? Who else is on contract but not getting a lot of screen time? Um, Jennifer Garris. Is she on contract now?
I don't think so.
She's on recurring. Darren Brooks, but he has other contracts, other projects, so it might not be as much of a bother for him as it is for others.
What about Diamond? Did you name Diamond? Is she on contract? What's
I
going
thought
on with her?
Diamond contract or recurring?
I believe Diamond's on contract.
Okay, then you
Diamond
have
can't be recurring. Diamond's been everywhere.
exactly. So and you're right, because my thing is this, and I guess maybe I'm just crazy like this, but in the world that I work in, and I guess maybe it's because I'm an adult and I actually have adult responsibilities like everybody else in the real world. If we have a contract with someone who and it's about to expire, we spend the whole 3 months before their contract expires working the shit out. Okay, we
Well,
don't
it
just
seems
get
like they
to.
took
Oh, go
some
ahead.
things for granted. Because
Yeah.
clearly if it got down to the point where Brad Bell personally had to get on the phone and call Rena to ask her to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me rewind that. Brad Bell was personally made a phone call to Rena to ask her to stay. Now,
To
this
stay.
is the owner. This is the tippity top. Now, typically, now I could
The
say if
big
I
dog.
had to beg Pitch to do something, I would pay him to do it, and I wouldn't be doing it if I was in his position. You feel me? But in his
Mm-hmm.
position, he made that call.
Yes, he
So
did.
correct. Um, he took ownership of her leaving, in my opinion, with that call. He took ownership of it. So I feel like he dropped the ball. He's the
I,
one that is supposed to be supposedly has the plan for all of these characters and where they supposed to be, because I know it's only every 2 year show, but as far as the contracts go, but they supposed to have a vision of who these characters are and where they're supposed to be going. And clearly his vision is skewed because he didn't have a vision for her. He found out the hard way that she's out now. I'm not going to be surprised if Darren Brooks is out next.
no, me neither, because it's ridiculous. The fact, because here's the thing: Brad is the head of the show. Okay, he's the head of the production company. He's co-head writer with Michael, whatever his name is. So
Yeah.
he's at the tippity top. So someone inside that organization is supposed to be on top of contracts and talent management, because everybody has a contract, everybody has an agent or an agency, and that is a prime part of how you manage talent. I'm not even in the entertainment industry, and I know that, but I do know how to manage contracts with our vendors, with people who we have contracts with for services. And I know if somebody's contract is coming up for renewal, that the quarter before that contract expires, who's ever supposed to be on top of that contract, you're either getting that contract renewed, so we know that we have their services going forward, or if they're done and you can't work it out, you're finding us a replacement. Because when that person's contract ends, I need somebody in this space doing what they did, at least as good as they did it or better than they did it, whichever way it's going, and for a price that's somewhere in the same area at the very least.
So now, what we're talking about with Rena, however, Rena has been on contract all
Yeah.
these 9, 10 years that she's been on the show.
Hmm.
So of course, this renewal that they do, they have that little option every few months. Now she
Yeah.
said she had been thinking about it, and she didn't make that decision until they came to her with the recurring nonsense. So I think that with a contract player like that, with the expectation that they're about to get this fresh new contract, a contract player, and I guess they get paid per contract and not necessarily per
Per
episode.
episode. Hmm.
Exactly. So I wouldn't give a damn if I work one day, 100 days, if I'm getting the same amount. So at
Hmm.
this point, the drop down to recurring was the icing on the cake. In this point, it's like, oh, okay, I'm already, not satisfied really with what I'm doing as a actress. I can't say story, but you can. I mean, I'm burnt out at my job. So let's just say she just burnt out. Like she said, she is tired of calling Brooke a terrible person or meddling in Wyatt's love life. I mean, she
Yeah.
Hmm.
flat out just spelled it out that this show ain't got nothing of entertainment value and nothing for her to sink her teeth into for her anyway.
Oh,
She just
agreed.
spelled it out. To me, that was an insult,
Yeah.
like a motherfucker. But she put it out there, and she put it out there for all of
Hard
us to hear.
facts. Yep.
No lies
Exactly.
told.
So, in like I said, for Brad
Oh,
Bell
hold on.
to make that call, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. Not to interrupt you. I was wrong as hell. Her contract expired in May.
Who's there?
Rena's.
Rena. Okay.
Rena's. It expired in May. So her
Oh,
contract expired in May. So they basically just let
3 months go by.
those months go by before they decided to have a talk about that. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's growth. That's incompetence. I mean,
Yep.
That's
I don't
why she
blame.
gone.
Yeah, I don't blame her at all. Period. This is one. She was absolutely 100% right about what she said about the content of what her character was doing. Because Quinn was more fun when she was out there creating havoc, and then once she got married to Eric, then all her entire persona was battling Brooke to just be treated like an equal in her own damn marriage as Eric Forrester's wife. She wanted, and I thought when they gave us Quarter, and that ended up taking off so spectacularly, I thought that was a sign that they were ready to transition her character into something else. Because if she's not Eric Forrester's wife, all this bullshit with Brooke doesn't even matter. She's satisfied with Flo being with Wyatt, so those two angles are no longer angles that she has to work. They're ready to move her in a different direction. But
So,
apparently they weren't. They just didn't have a plan, period.
so are we saying that there is no direction for a character if it's not revolving around Brooke?
Yep, that's what it sounds like.
If it's not
That's what the
revolving,
damn show sounded like to
if it's
me.
not revolving around Brooke, or if it's not revolving around the characters that feels like he has a personal stake in, if you want my opinion. Because here's
Like
the thing,
Steffi,
you'll
Brooke,
never.
Steffi, and Brooke. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like here's the thing. He
Hmm.
has a stake. He has a stake in Brooke's story. That's a non.
Yeah.
That's a. He has a stake in Ridge.
Yeah.
He has a stake in Steffi.
Yep.
He has a stake in Hope for certainty because he sure sacrificed a lot to get that character back on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he did a lot of damage to give that character the entrance that he wanted that character to have. So he definitely has a stake with her. Not that, and he manipulates so many things to make sure that she's never shown in a bad light. So
Sure.
So
he had.
that actually means that Steffi, and just like with Quinn, no matter how much we love, just like Sally, no matter how much we love Quinn, no matter how much we love Sally, no matter how much we love Steffi, once they are of no longer a plot device for his
Yeah.
faves, and let's keep it real, to me, in my opinion, is Brooke and Liam.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
won't necessarily agree 100% about Steffi because he's actually giving her things that don't really have anything to do with them these days. She's
He
getting
moving her away.
her
Yeah.
own.
He did.
She's getting her own story, her own goals, her own drama, her own trauma, her own whatever, completely independent of Hope, Liam, or Brooke, and I'm thankful for it.
Yes.
Tell
Finally.
y'all something about Jackie. Y'all know Jackie left before. It ain't nothing for her to get up and get a new job. She
Mm-mm.
is and always has been a hot commodity.
That's
I,
right.
Mm-hmm.
I think this third baby kind of shook some folks because three
Yeah.
kids, girl, you sure you're not trying to leave us? You got 3 kids?
Yeah.
3, you're not trying to leave us. They got scared because they lost
That's
her.
right.
And look at what the show was doing when Jackie wasn't. I don't even remember what
We
was going
stopped
on the show
watching.
when Jackie wasn't on it.
It was a
We
blur.
stopped watching.
It was
I
I
And
glanced
didn't
they
and it
watch.
was
was a
failing
blur.
horribly. They was failing horribly, Bubbles.
if
All
they
I
lose
know is I watched
Jackie.
long enough to realize Jackie wasn't coming back, and Wyatt came into the picture, and all I know it was Hope, Wyatt, and Liam, but I didn't watch.
But let me
Yeah.
tell you this: if Jackie leaves again, or if they fumble the ball and fumble her bag and end up losing her, they gonna lose this show.
Yeah.
Oh yes, this whole ship is sinking.
That woman brings the viewers to this show. You cannot
That's right.
replace her. They couldn't even replace Jackie after her first scene when she first joined the show. That's how incredible she was. They can't they if they fumble the bag with Jackie, it is over. It's over. Ain't nobody gonna tune in just to watch the sagas of Brooke and Hope doing the same thing, unless Brooke fixing to start fucking Liam. I don't want to see the
Mm-mm.
saga of the Logans. Like, and I need Brooke to be fucking Liam and Hope to be an alcoholic because her Mom, how could you do this to me? This is how I was born. I can't believe you slept with my husband. Oh, nobody didn't mean to. It was an accident, honey. I thought he was Oliver.
Again, exactly. They can't because here's the thing.
I
Because
really thought it. Yeah, that if they not fixing to make that happen, I don't care what they do with them Logans. But leave Jackie on the scene because the minute Jackie is gone, bloop bloop, I'm bouncing too. I'll
it,
watch when
Yep.
they say Taylor's gonna be on because I'm still gonna support Krista. But the rest of the show can kick rocks. If they want to have Krista on one day a week, guess what? I'm just gonna watch one day a week. If Krista
exactly.
on every day, that's gonna be the only reason I'm watching every day is because of Taylor.
Yeah.
Pretty
Um,
much. And if they start writing bullshit for her, then
I'm out.
that's gonna be it. It
Yeah.
would be like,
I'm
you
with
know what?
Dolly. I'm,
It's a clean wash.
I'm with Dolly because when they was doing that bullshit with Jackie, with when they had Steffi in there folding clothes and basically being a dick warmer for Liam, I was
Yeah.
out. I pieced out on the show. I love Jackie, but I am not here for watching my favorite actress do some bullshit on screen.
I'm with you. It wasn't enough for me to stick around. As much as I love her, I didn't care. I bounced, and I feel the same way. Their bubbles do it by Kristen. Same here. As much as I love Kristen, it's not enough. If they start writing badly for her, it won't be enough for me to stick around. And what Bubble
Mhm.
said too about and darling about Jackie is true because and I felt that because I felt like for once Bill he was listening to fans and I think he realized he seen it to be true because they dropped ratings. He realized we weren't gonna continue to stick around for them to write Steffi to keep her in that triangle with Liam and Hope. So they had to in enough and the fact that Jackie got pregnant again for the third baby and she's putting out there on social media that she's expanding her family, she wants to expand her family. He's smart. I don't care. At the end of the day, he know who feeding him, he know who paying the bills. So let me get it together, let me get her some good scripts so she can stay and her fans can stay. And I think that's why we finally got Jackie, our fave, in the corner over there with Finn, away from everybody else. That needed to happen.
Desperately. We've been begging for it for years. And I agree with what Amaya said too, is that there's that people who, and it is true, actors who have younger children are
Hmm.
more likely to stay and put up with this foolishness because
Hmm.
the job still serves them. They can
That's
still
right.
do what they want to do, provide for their families, be with their kids. Because having an open-ended schedule like you have with a soap, you may go in and shoot your scenes and be done on this particular day, and you're clear for the rest of the week, depending on
Yeah,
what they have you up. That's
yeah,
a very big plus to young parents, to parents with young children,
that's
because
right. Because they can
because
schedule their life, vacations, children's, family, all of that.
right. But once those children start growing up, like in Rena's case, Rena Churn is basically all grown. She got one because based on what her interview said, doesn't she have one kid who's like going off to college now?
Yep.
Yeah, her
And I
young.
think she only has two. She only has
Yeah,
two
and the other
girls,
one,
right?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
she's
the
got
other
three girls. Her oldest
three.
girl is almost 30. The second girl is in her 20s. And the third is just 18, 17 or 18. So she has said, she's been a mom for 30 years and her kids are 10 years apart. She's got three girls. I think the oldest one is married. The second one, I think, is in grad school and she has a boyfriend that she lives with. And then the youngest is applying to colleges right now. She talked about that on the interview that she did with Soap Opera Digest. Um,
Right.
and so she's there to support the youngest with her college stuff. She's not really into it the way she was with the oldest, because I think she said her oldest daughter applied to like 10 well, one of the two older girls applied to 10 schools, and then the other daughter just applied to two, and she's like, I don't know, it's crazy. So but yeah, she's got three kids. And I found it interesting because she said that it sounded to me like she was preparing to do something else anyway. Like she had already tapped out, regardless of what was coming up. She had already tapped out because she said that she had started, she was woodworking at first. She was doing woodworking stuff and she cut herself really bad. And while she was healing from the cut that she got, she decided to go into pottery because pottery is a lot easier on you than woodworking. You ain't got to worry about slicing off your fingers when you making, stuff with clay. So and
Mhm.
when she said that, I laughed because I remember what Sam said about them some of them pots that was on her page. And I'm like, oh, that was probably her cut finger pots that she made. I want her to get her baby pots. And that's why they look a little wonky on the side. But she said that's where her heart is now, is in her um pottery work. That's what she's focused on. That's what she wants to do. And people are buying her stuff and she's appreciative. And if you want to buy her stuff, she'll appreciate it. She makes stuff if you want something specific. She got you. I
And
think that this is the part of her life where she is becoming a different kind of artist and she's happy with it. I don't think she's gonna
exactly.
stay here for a while.
Right.
She's
And the
not
thing
with the
is,
BS. I mean, she will
and
take on a challenge like anybody will, but she's at the point where if she's not content with the work she's putting out here, why don't she put that energy into something that she is content with?
Sam,
Sam, are you
Yeah,
crackly?
Sam, your phone is,
and tell
yeah.
Oh,
Joe.
okay. I'm going out and coming back in.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
she
it's
done
like,
good. I feel like Rena, I mean, this is how I look at it. Regardless, she's done well for herself. I mean, because if she can make that choice to say, well, guess what? I'm better than reoccurring, or I don't mind reoccurring, but I really don't need it. I put in my work. I did 30 years. She must have did some great investments. And if she want to sit and do pottery for the rest of her days, I mean, like, I'm here for it. I mean, because it shows me she knows her worth. Plus, she doesn't need to count on that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like, she did good. So, good for you, Rena. I mean, because the girl made some smart choices in her life. She got a nice little bank account or a nice little nest egg. So, she don't have to be worried about where her next gig gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
And y'all
right.
know
She's not worried about that.
General Hospital, them fans still want her back. Like if they could get her back tomorrow as Lois, they would make it happen. Because when it was announced that she was leaving Bold, those people were all over themselves.
They
Oh
was
no,
they was on the
is Lois
tag.
back? Is Lois coming back? Did y'all talk to Rena Sofa because she's not on Bold no more? We can get Lois back. Y'all, yeah, we will get. And she said she's really touched that nobody's ever been able to play that role. She left such a mark that nobody else can really be Lois. And again, like I said on my spaces, I completely forgot Leslie Kay took over the role. Completely forgot Leslie Kay was Lois. You know why?
Damn, I ain't seen Leslie Kay in a while.
Thank you. Every time somebody says Lois Quartermain, the picture that pops up in my face is Rena Sofer. I can hear her voice. She said when she auditioned for that role, they asked her if she could do a accent, and she said, "Yeah, I can do an accent," and that's why Lois talks the way she does. You say Lois on GH, and Rena Sofer is all I can see. I had to go look for pictures of the other lady as Lois. I'm like, I just don't remember this, and I didn't. That
Wow,
is
and
staying
Leslie Cole
power.
is amazing.
That is having an effect because people remember her to the point that can't nobody else play her.
Well, one, Lois is her character on GH. One, it does not help. It does not hurt at all that she was one of many characters that was in what I call like the golden '90s age of
That's
GH.
a yes.
That was when they had the best actors and solid, fantastic knockdown drag out. I could not get enough writing. So you didn't just have some A characters, some B characters. There was not a boring ass storyline on the whole show back in those days, in the early to like the mid '90s. It was all good all the time, every day. So yeah, and you're right. I hardly ever remembered that Leslie K was Lois, and I think it was really short lived because I don't remember that much of it. I really don't. I barely remember it. But yeah, if Renee wanted to stay in daytime, she could. I mean, heaven knows they need to have whoever that is on GH running around with that. I know what you did last summer. Hook, take a couple of other people
Mhm.
off and leave Ava the hell alone. That's a whole nother story. And they
Yeah,
could easily make room for her character to come back. But that's the thing. She doesn't need acting. And how
she
I
don't. Yeah,
not if it's not something that's going to challenge her or something that
yeah,
she's going to find satisfying, because that's the biggest thing that I picked from it is that she had already 90% made up her mind not to
yeah,
continue. if she
yeah.
got if she got to her contract in May expiring, and then they didn't make no moves to renew it with her, because that's my first thing, because from a negotiation standpoint, it's like, okay, my
They should have
contract's
been
up.
calling her in February or
Exactly.
March. Yeah,
Co-
yeah.
Correct. Okay, my contract's up in May. So we didn't got to February, we didn't got
And
to
you still
March,
haven't.
and
Yeah,
we got to April, and we're not talking about this. I'm not, my phone
yeah,
isn't ringing about this.
yeah.
You're not asking me if I'm gonna renew, or we're not trying to work out terms. So that means that you've taken it for granted that I'm here. Okay, so that means
Yep.
the ball is totally in my court. And when it was totally in her court, she was like, okay, you know what? I'm pretty much ready to go. My kids are grown. I found my groove in my art,
Yeah.
so I can go and continue that groove. But you know what? But she gave them the courtesy, and it's a courtesy she didn't have to give them. She gave them the chance to convince her to stay by presenting whatever the hell it was that they had in mind for Quinn, to see if it was going to be interesting enough or enough of an inducement to make her want to stay. And it's not that they presented her with something that was substandard or stupid or just more of the same old. They presented her with nothing. She asked,
Yeah.
"What do you got for me?" And they handed her an empty ass plate with no
And a
utensils.
pay cut to go on recurring.
Yeah.
Exactly, and a pay cut. There, they handed her an empty plate with no utensils. Then they broke the plate in half and said, "Well, really, all we got is half an empty plate, not a whole empty plate. How you
She
game?"
didn't need that. No,
Hey,
she
listen.
didn't need that.
This is the
I
fact of the matter.
mean, yeah, and it was disrespectful, and plus she didn't need it. I mean, she's not a starving actress. I mean, she's been doing this for quite a while. So, hey, I'm happy for her. I
Well, you
Me
mean,
got to
it's
be
too.
sad
sad
for
that they didn't give
Lawrence.
her a better out. That's the thing that I'm kind of pissed about, because I'm like, was that it? Is it today? Was
Exactly.
that it?
I
Like,
And
I'm happy
and now
for
that they
Rena
had no
because she's
plan
moving
at all,
on.
and now that they
Oh,
had absolutely zero plan for
yeah,
Rena and for Quinn, you know damn
yeah,
well they didn't have a plan for Carter,
yeah.
Lawrence St. Victor.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
they
So
probably
what
had
he
yeah,
finna
already
do?
offered him recurring. He
Uh,
probably go on recurring too.
yeah.
He'll
So going
probably
back
end
to
up
what he
go
was
on
doing
recurring
before.
But
because
he's
he's
always
writing.
been recurring. He's always been recurring. And I thought about the dressing room thing and him not having a dressing room. But when you think about it, how often do they use Carter? Why
No, not at
they
all.
hardly ever use him? So they
Until quarter, hardly ever.
right. So they're not going to give him a dressing room because he's been there for so long. They're going to give you a dressing room because they're using you all the time and you need somewhere to change clothes. As infrequent as they are using Lawrence, that man could probably just come to work already in costume, okay?
Yeah.
You using me like that quarter storyline is the most that we have seen him be used ever. And that was during the time when he was involved with Marcus and that whole thing with him becoming the forester and his foster family storyline and whatever else the second storyline was that I mentioned on my spaces, which I can't even remember because that's how infrequently that they use Carter on the boat.
Maya.
So
Maya.
that's
He
right with
was in
Maya.
that trial with Maya.
Maya. So he probably had more access to a dressing room at that time because he was on all the time. But once they put Carter in the closet and we only saw him when he was officiating weddings or
Hmm.
divorce papers, they're not going to give him a dressing room. He'll never, unless they give him consistent storylines, he's never going to have a dressing room. And maybe that's the point that Rena was making. You have this incredible actor that you're not using. Maybe if you used him, give him a dressing room and give this man some storyline because he's here and he's incredible and he's writing. Maybe that was her point.
It's almost like that it's almost like she was doing more campaigning and championing for Lawrence than for anything. I've been saying it and I'm gonna say it again. I have not had a good feeling about Lawrence um in his future at Bold. I do know that he does write some scripts for Bold. However, let's just think about this, and we all open minded here. And how secure do you guys feel in Lawrence St. Victor breaking that glass ceiling and actually becoming a regular writer on The Bold and the Beautiful?
I think that is more plausible than them giving him storyline.
Hmm.
I agree.
They don't
Because
even
Yeah.
need to give the actors behind the scenes roles. They probably don't even have to change their salaries to do it. You want to write
Yeah.
some story, we'll let you write some story because what else is we doing? So
Yeah.
I think that they'll keep him as a writer because this Quinn and Carter thing was good. That was great
it
story.
worked.
He wrote it.
It did.
So just like they let Susan Flannery direct and Heather Tom direct, and other people have written. Well, I guess right now he's the only actor that's writing on the show. I think he's got a good. I think he has a good chance to keep that.
Oh
As
yeah,
long as he's
definitely.
as long as he's producing good storyline content that pulls people in, I think they'll probably keep him because Quarter
So
was.
this has been my concern with it. This is my concern because we did discuss that we got Quinn and Quarter. We got Quarter last year. What June, July time? June. I'll say it was a month before Jackie got off maternity leave.
Hmm.
So we got it at that time, unexpected, out of the blue. I believe that was the powers that be throwing the paint at the wall, and they got lucky and hit Quarter. But even to this point, if a year later Quinn, Rena had to sign her contract was up in which I'll say May. So just
Hmm.
1 year later, they have nothing that they can write for Quinn and Carter, or let's say Quinn. They have nothing they can write for Quinn. A year after they threw paint at the wall and hit pay dirt with Quarter. I don't feel good about Lawrence. I just do not. I feel like even Lawrence getting the opportunity to write at that time could have been throwing paint at the wall. That could have just gotten him this yeah, gotten him this extra year. Because I mean, they shot Rena at the recurring. He's already on recurring. What were they going to downgrade him to?
That's the thing. It's like this. If it's kind of like the squeaky wheel gets the oil, but if your wheel don't squeak, they're gonna let it just keep on chugging on. And the thing is, the characters the actors. Let me
But
put it
see,
to you
this
this way:
that's not what I
the
mean,
actors who,
because
I
Rena
mean,
didn't squeak. She was there. She was waiting on her contract. They took advantage. They waited to the last minute. They just knew she was going to sign, so she didn't
right? They
squeak.
took it for
All
granted.
she exactly, but she didn't squeak. They offered her recurring. So if they were offering her recurring at the last minute, just knowing that she was going to accept it, what were they offering Lawrence at the last minute?
It's
I'm
about
waiting.
whether or not
I'm on watch. I'm just gonna put a
part.
pin in it. I'm on watch list for Lawrence.
Okay, part of it is about whether or not the big difference between Rena and Lawrence is this: is Bo did not serve Rena's purposes, period, point blank, by the time her contract was up. They were not offering her any stories that were any stories or anything that was challenging. So her role as Quinn was a non-factor. Then on top of that, they hadn't been offering her nothing, and then when she inquired about it, they weren't offering her nothing in the future. So it was a no brainer for her to just check out and go on about her business. Why wouldn't she? The actors who have successfully gotten involved in other parts of the process, like directing or writing, it's usually happened like that because their characters have so little to do on screen that they have all the time in the world to dip their toe and really sink their teeth into other aspects of the creative process having to do with acting, like being behind the camera or being the hand that holds the pen to write the script. So it's like, look at Heather Tom. They will never, ever in their life cut Tom's contract up, and we only see her a couple of times a year. That's because she's happy showing up on Bold every blue moon and pursuing her other projects in her own spare time. With Lawrence, it depends on where he is personally in this. If he is satisfied with with his character as an actor, with his character not getting as much, not getting a decent story or really any story, but if he can still write, if that's where he's leaning more creatively, then he won't have a problem with it. If that's not what he wants, then yes, they are going to have an issue. But if he's found his groove and he feels like his groove is moving more to something that's behind the camera than in front of it, and he can keep doing that, he might very well stay in a recurring role and not really be too troubled about Carter not having a storyline to go through.
Right.
It really is a flip of the coin, and it really is about what serves these actors, as far as their own personal goals, their growth as actors, but also as performers or creators or artists or whatever it is, whatever your other thing is. If gold is serving your purpose, you can hang with it. When it stops serving your purpose, you getting the hell out, because we've seen that at least 7 times in the last 10 years, that when this show stops serving people purpose, they get the hell on. And honestly, you can't really blame them.
Yeah, well, that's what the show would do. The show would
Yeah,
fire them and tell them to get the hell on when the show done with them. So that's the way it's
exactly.
supposed to go. So now,
Amen.
where we at right now? We 8:43 in, and we've talked about Rena
Mhm.
for a whole 43 minutes. What we got on the agenda for today?
Yeah. Well, we owed her at least that much. We gave her more time than the damn show did. But yeah, we could. What's the next on the agenda?
Well, let's see. I don't even know what else happened on the show today because nothing else was
We
really interesting to
we
me.
could we
I
could
was
talk
about to
about.
say the same thing.
I was about to say we could talk about Sheila treating Deacon like a male concubine.
Oh, she
Correct.
told me to listen. You oh,
Listen,
come on back here. Let me work this out on you, boy. You all full of
she
shit.
told him that she and listen, watch it. What she was going to the shower. Watch when the show starts tomorrow. Deacon's ass is gonna be coming out the shower in a towel. Deacon is
Yes.
taking a Sheila
Yeah.
up on every time she offer him the cookie. I loves it to damn pieces.
And he tells talking about, ain't nobody forcing you, boy. You sitting there looking all dumb in the face. Talking
Cause
about
you know why he looking dumb? Cause he know he finna bite down on that cookie and he shouldn't. But he can't help it. I love it. This is the kind of shit that I love. Deacon's mind is telling him to get this woman up out of there, but his body is saying, well, maybe I'll try again after we finish.
you know why, Sam? You know why? I don't see nothing wrong. This
Little
little
bumpy
Little
bumpy
bumpy
ride.
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 He said
Nope.
it. My
And
lord,
guess what? But it ain't
my
little though.
lord.
It ain't no little. Ain't no little bumping and grinding in there. Not per Sheila. Not per. What the hell is her name? They done changed the lady name
Lena,
how many times? Lena.
Nicolina. It's Nicolina, but she goes by Lena. I thought she
Child.
said Nicolina like the pasta, but when I saw it on the recaps, it's Nicolina, and she goes by Lena. And Deacon said his mind is telling him no, but
Body.
his
My
body, he
body's
tells
telling
him
me yes.
yes.
Ooh, child, he is partaking. And you know what? He is partaking so often that Sheila is now even confident that she can take care of his needs. You see how she said, now you just be quiet and let me go in here and run that shower. She
Yes,
walked in there
girl,
like she know he gonna follow her in there. And guess what? He
he
is
did.
gonna follow her in there,
He
and he
is.
coming out here with that towel on. Hey, there's nothing better on Bold and the Beautiful today than Sheila and goddamn Deacon.
She got
Always.
his ass. She got him. And that's the
With
part that was the part that had me rolling is when Sheila was like, okay, you know what? This whole panicky thing you're doing, it's not doing it for me. I was like, Sheila sat up there and said, you acting like a panicky bitch is not turning me on. Stop it.
Right.
How about that laughing?
She said, you made my dick soft. Calm the fuck down.
Pretty much.
Hey, Sheila.
I was like, damn, Sheila ain't even pretending. She telling him flat out, you can stop this right now. Cause all this pearl clutching you doing it's not getting me
it's not
there.
it.
So
She
yeah,
said,
it's not it.
now shut your mouth and go on in there and get in that damn shower so we can do what we fixing to do.
I
And you
told
saw the
you,
look
Mel,
on his
cocky
face. The
by
look on his face was like he is screwed. He's screwed because he knows she shouldn't be there, but he is going to go in there and lay the pipe down. And then when he done, he gonna tell her that he gonna bring her some food back from work. I'm
You,
so wrapped up in Deacon and Sheik, and I don't know what to do.
I want to
it.
see Sheila slap Deacon on the ass when she sent him to another room. Now go on and get in there. And then she slaps him on the ass. I
Hmm.
want that.
I'm waiting on it.
Sheila.
Honestly,
Oh,
at this
Deacon don't
point,
look like the
that's a
type to
reasonable
like.
explanation.
He don't look like he the type to like that kind of play. I don't think that he goes for that. I don't see Deacon. I don't
Honey,
see Deacon
he
going
don't
for
go
that.
for Sheila. He don't go for Sheila. And what he doing? Going for Sheila right now. If she slaps him on his ass like, okay, big boy, pow, you got it today, didn't you? He gonna be like Sheila. And then that's gonna be it.
I
Exactly.
don't.
Here's
Tell you,
Yeah.
Mhm.
he
So
gonna
if
fall
she
in
It's
just,
just
line.
yeah, I
foreplay.
think yeah, because
It's foreplay for Deacon.
yeah,
not
he's
only
all
that,
in.
but not only that, but you got to keep something in mind is that in this relationship or in all relationships, you always have a person who's somebody whose personality is more dominant.
You got that
And
right.
and the thing is, with Deacon and Sheila, it's Sheila. Okay, it's Sheila. There's no doubt about it. She is the one with the domineering personality. At the very least, I would not be the least bit surprised for Sheila to walk over and say, hey, baby, give me some sugar. Come over here and give me some. Basically, I really could see Sheila strolling past Deacon and being like, you know, why don't you come give me some? I can
Well,
see
she
that.
done already
Mhm.
straddled the man. She done already
Pretty
straddled the
much.
man in the chair. I mean,
It,
that's the boldest move ever.
And that's
Mm.
basically what she did today when she was like, bring your ass on in this damn shower, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Bring your ass
exactly.
Exactly. Just
on
and
in
she
Yeah,
and
this
she's
I am.
so
shower.
confident, and she's so confident in the fact
Stop
that
all
she
this
gonna get
whining.
that he gonna come on in that shower and she gonna take care of him. He
He
gonna
will
get that. She
too.
gonna work that stress off. Look at your heart beating so fast. Let me take care of that for you. Let me tell you something. Deacon is living the ghetto fabulous life. He got him a baddie
Hmm.
in the room that they really can't even go nowhere. He got the baddie in the room. She got that kitty cat snack. Wow.
Hmm.
Deacon is living large and in charge. All he got to do is keep that nosy kid of his at his business.
Exactly. Exactly. All he got to do is keep his daughter the hell out of his house, and he can get the good as often as he want. No problems, no issues, no nothing. Now, unfortunately for him, that's gonna be easier said than done because he got the nosiest daughter in Beverly Hills.
The
Yeah,
Right.
fact
and
that
he
he
didn't see.
told Sheila to stay away from Hope, she didn't go looking for Hope. Hope
I
right
know.
there.
See, that was me
Exactly.
too. I was like, Deacon, you're the one who left the. First of all, Sheila was. I hate to say this, but Sheila wasn't wrong. She said you the one left the door unlocked.
Yeah.
I was
Yep.
on my way out, and your daughter just showed up out of nowhere. So
And
no, it's not like I went looking to go talk to your daughter or something. Your daughter showed the hell up here, and then you almost gave it all away by acting stupid.
Right. You're the
Yep.
one gonna blow this for us, sir. You're going to blow this for us.
But Sheila was finna blow it because she had those scissors in her hand, like she was gonna shank her.
I was ready for that shit too.
I was so torn because one part of me was trying to weigh the pros and the cons of if I know she's not, but what would actually be the consequences if Sheila shanked this bitch? I
Well,
mean,
after Sheila shot Steffi and Finn, Finn and shot Steffi in cold blood. I mean, Sheila is capable of anything at this point. So, um, I mean, Sheila is showing that she has not changed a lick. She
no, she
is
hasn't.
still homicidal. She will still choose murder to get herself out of a band.
Because
That's
it's Sheila. Who didn't know that about her?
Yeah,
That's
but she
always
continues
going
to
to be
prove
her
it.
go-to.
But
plus
she
it works.
continues to prove it day in and day out that she is heinous. I love her
Murder,
dirty draws.
murder is always Sheila's go-to. You see
Yeah,
how many times she done tried to kill Lauren Fenmore over the years? Sheila don't do nothing but murder her.
that's how she
Mhm.
solved her problems. Some people they go and shop to get their problems away or whatnot. She'll just fall off and kill people.
Sheila
That's
said,
her backup.
I'm just gonna kill a bitch because I ain't got time for this in my
You
life.
know what? I don't have time
Louisa
for
over in
conflict
YouTube.
resolution.
Just kill like
Louisa over in YouTube said that this is the chic and dirty talk hour. What did Louisa say? Dirty
Bye,
talk,
bet.
chicken.
it is that right. The she
Bye,
Yeah,
bet.
we are
because
chic
that's
after dark today. We chic after dark tonight. Cause
yeah, because
girl,
that's what chicken is. That's what chicken is. Chicken is explicit in all the sexual undertones. I just love the adultness of it. I love it because I can understand where Deacon is at. He is attracted to somebody that he is terrified of.
terror afraid was right. Cause
Yep,
he's terrified
terrified.
and afraid. He is terror afraid.
Exactly.
He
Yep.
is terror afraid and he lied.
Hmm. With the boner.
Mhm.
He's terrified with the boner.
See, and that's the part that's hilarious about it is that the thing is, on its surface, you kind of have to wonder, okay, what does it say about a man that he wants to be with Sheila? Not the Sheila who, conceals things, because we all know how Sheila, when she first come on the scene, she don't play crazy, so you don't necessarily know she crazy. Okay, so I'm talking about the version of Sheila that we're seeing right now with Deacon. And you have to ask yourself, it's the same question I used to ask about Mike. It's like, Mike, how you down so bad for a woman that's sick of Doberman on you? What is
Hmm.
going on with you, baby? That is your thing. This is your
Hmm.
kink. You are down bad. You no, forget bad. You're down horrendous for a woman who the hottest thing that's happened between y'all was her putting a Doberman to eat your ass up inside of a damn elevator.
He said
Bruh,
he did something to him. He said he did
exactly.
something to him.
Exactly. There's, so that's the thing. The human nature, it's very weird. It goes to just basic and normal everyday folks to the absolute bizarre, the craziest, and I don't even want to just yeah. Humans can get turned on by the damnedest things.
Exactly. And Deacon is in the same position now. It's like, okay, bro, this woman been trying to get in your tight jeans for pretty much almost a year at this point. And she finally managed it. And now that she didn't got in them, you really have no defenses against it. Even when you know all this stuff about this woman, she didn't cut off, she crazy enough to cut off her damn toe. She didn't
Yep.
shot her son. She didn't
Yep.
shot her son's wife. She almost killed her son's adopted mama. You know all of this. But you still need that cookie like your name is Cookie Monster and you live on Sesame Street.
Because he crazy too. I mean, Deacon and Sheila are not. He may not have done, be extreme as her, as crazy as her. I mean, but him and Mike both. I mean, come on, it got to be something. They just as evil as her to
It's
be
that
helping her
Yeah.
wild.
out.
Even
I
Eric
mean, there
said
are
when
no
Brooke
difference.
said it.
So it's not too far out for me to accept the concept or see Deacon with Sheila. It's not like way out, so therefore out far fetched that I just can't believe it. Now it was far fetched when they put Eric with Sheila. Because
But
everybody trying to tell him like, dude, this chick is freaking loco, but Deacon with Sheila, I
see, but
mean,
James
that's the
Warwick,
thing.
Sheila done had
She got
plenty of sane men. So basically,
right.
Sheila's preference is sane, well-to-do men. Sheila, so
yeah, yeah,
Deacon is the lowest thing Sheila's had.
that's
I
true.
don't claim I don't claim terrible Tom because I don't claim the Y&R
Oh no,
version
that's some
of
shit they came
Sheila
up with.
after the rewrite. Right, not claiming
Yeah,
any of that foolishness. But Sheila has been doctor's wife, Scott whatever Granger, Eric Forrester. She wasn't married to Massimo. She got a kid from Massimo. I don't think she ever married James, but she got a kid with James. I mean, these men, and
but
James was a psychiatrist. These men are good, well-to-do men. I won't call them all good men, but they powerful, rich, sexy, handsome men. Deacon is the least of Sheila's conquests. Mike,
but the
she
thing
never even
is,
vetted. Mike is just a pawn that she can use because
But
he's
that's the thing. The good guys, the upstanding ones, she got those because she was fronting. She wasn't
that's what
being
I
real
was gonna
Sheila to
say,
get
darling.
those men.
They didn't know. They found out about her after after she conquered them.
true
She was
that.
pretending to be someone else. I think Darling was more like Deacon going in nose wide open. He
Yeah,
knows
he
she
know it
crazy.
all,
He
just
knows
like
she
Mike
crazy,
do.
but he can't stop himself. But these other conquests she had, they didn't know she was crazy, Sam. They found out she was crazy after she got him because she was pretending to be someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Point
the
taken.
only real difference.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but Deacon and Mike, they are singular in the fact that they are arguably the only men in the entire universe who have ever fallen for the real Sheila Carter.
Yeah. Well, she didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to pretend. That's true.
Yeah, they may not be, affluent men or the type of man that Sheila was used to, but they are men who, crazily enough, actually are into her for her, the real her, not the her
Mm,
she pretends to be so that she can get these men to fall in love with her, but the
mm,
real I'm crazy, I will kill this bitch, I will shoot this one,
Mm-hmm.
I will lock this one up, and all this other here two other crazy stuff that Sheila tends to get up to when she starts
mhm.
Sheila in. They actually
Mm-hmm.
still want to have something to do with her even when she's like that, and that is just fascinating to me.
I love it, and I love it. And we need to get us a Sheila Deacon and Richard Michael Guthrie storyline. But we'll see. We probably won't see Michael Guthrie anymore. His Has he made his final exit? Did anybody see him on the going out?
When they
They
took
never said.
when they took him away, he was done. And
Yeah,
Sheila said, "Don't worry, baby. We're gonna meet up at the cadets."
Right. I mean, ain't no throwaway lines anymore. Maybe they do rendezvous somewhere with Sheila
I
and her
ref-
redhead.
and I refuse to believe they made her a redhead just for Mike not to see it. Mm-mm,
Right.
mm-mm.
Exactly. That would upset me. His love, Mike has to see it. So what else happened on the show today? We got Sheila and Deacon, and we know that they got the
Ridge was
goods.
Rich
Ridge was being Ridge.
Well, Ridge actually did us a solid. Ridge gathered Queen Liam. Ridge gathered Queen Liam up real quickly about Douglas enjoying being with his dad.
He
He's like,
sure
well, I'm
did shut him
surprised he
down.
didn't
Hmm.
want us. I'm surprised he didn't want to come
that was
home.
so damn funny to me. He kept telling her, "What you mean? Is he okay? He's having fun with his daddy. Stop being so fucking weird."
Yeah,
Wait a minute, Rich. You Rich is
he sure did.
right now because he got Taylor on the brain. He's trying to make it work with Brooke. He's trying to support his son with these lunatics running around. I need to check on him for what? He's with his daddy having fun. Settle your ass down. Why don't you going back out there to that damn shed with your
Yeah, Ridge is not
you making
happy
too
at Brooke's
damn
house
much.
at all. So he comes to the house. Um, um, they talking about Deacon. I just left there screaming at him about the picture. Remember, he had already said he didn't care about the
Mm,
picture. I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah,
lying.
but I'm competent. But what about the picture? He actually slapped her ass in the face with it today. I found that shocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
where
he
did that come
literally,
from?
because I can't assume, but I've been married, and that goddamn it was a slap in the face with the past. Well, I'm not going to come between Deacon and her father. Well, what about the kiss? Or what about the post? Yeah, what about you kissing him? That was fucking slap. I mean,
That
that's
pissed me
fight
off.
words right
And
there. That means you
I
want
don't
to open the
even
wound
like
again.
Brooke. I don't even like Brooke, and I was pissed because I'm like, okay, so when she wanted to talk about that with you and asked you about it, you
Hmm.
fobbed her off.
You said he
But
didn't care.
now, yeah, that's what I mean. Here's my thing: it's like they too old for those type of games. If you got a problem, and then I ask you if you have a problem, and you come and tell me there's no problem, then I'm gonna treat you like an adult and take you at your word.
But
But
Bubbles, you know what time it is, though. You know
exactly,
what
it's
time it is.
rich.
We not going there. We not
What
going
time
into
is
what
it?
it's
What?
supposed to be because we know what
Yeah.
time it is. Ridge
Mm-hmm.
is not happy at Brooke's house when he's there.
Mm-hmm.
He acts
Hmm.
not happy. He's huffing and puffing and slapping her in the face with what she did in the past because
Yeah.
he don't want to be there. He's looking at Liam in his face like, look at this dirt bag over here got the nerve to want to question why my grandson is with his father. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, all I got from Ridge today was he's a man that don't like to be the fuck at Brooke house. He don't like the
Yeah.
people at Brooke's house.
No,
And
he
he was
doesn't.
insufferable.
And instead of him being, and that's the part that's pissing me off is because I'll be honest, Ridge came off as kind of bitch made today because he's
He
not
always
happy
come
in.
off like that.
Yeah, he does, but today was
Y'all
particularly egregious.
acting like this
He
is
was he
brand
came
new.
off he came
This
off bitch made
always rich.
because
Y'all got this
I agree with what Sam said. He is not happy. It is the
Yeah.
contrast between his attitude when he is at Brooke's house and his attitude when he is in Malibu or at with Malibu at his
Two
daughter's
different
house or at
things.
his dad's house is two different things. And
Yeah.
the thing is that he is too to do something about it himself. So he came home fully ready to find fault with everything and everybody in the universe. Now, there's some fault
Speak
to be
on it.
found because I ain't got shit to say about Hope or Liam and his bullshit. But yeah, he's looking for it now. He's
Yep.
active, regardless of what he said to Brooke previously when she asked him about it like a damn adult. He's now looking for fault now because he wants out and he's just too chicken shit to actually deal with it constructively.
And I think that Ridge is just he's been admitting more and more. It's like it's pulling teeth for him to just go ahead and admit that the relationship is over. But he's been coming to the right realization that
On
the
his own.
relationship is over. What happened?
Oh no, go ahead. I was just saying on his own.
Exactly. He's coming to the
Hmm.
realization of it. But you know how Bell writes.
Yeah.
It's never the man's fault for being a damn douchebag. So
Yeah.
Deacon is going to be the cause of all the ills on the Logan side of the fence. Sheila is going to be the cause of the Forrester drama. So I'm prepared right now for this Deacon mess to affect Brooke and Hope negatively. Douglas, I'm hoping that it has something to do with Douglas. I'm hoping it's whatever Deacon does tips the scale for Thomas to go and get Douglas and be like, no, deuces. And Brooke is it hopefully Deacon is going to be the thing because Ridge is like you said, bitch made. The dudes don't get any they get free passes for getting out of jail free
Yeah.
cards of their marriage. So somehow Deacon is going to do something that's going to enrage Ridge and be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Probably something that she don't do, just like with Steffi with the lipstick on the pillow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Probably would be
Yeah.
something that she actually didn't do, but something that the dude get to run out the door and go play up with Taylor. Goodness, thank goodness, Taylor can't get pregnant. So that's probably how it's going to go. He's going to stay there and drag out the ending of this relationship until he has the excuse he needs to run to Taylor and bust her down because that's what he wants to do anyway.
Exactly. And that's the problem. Plus part of what gets on my nerves is that he needs an excuse. And and you're right, Deacon is going to provide that excuse. And it won't even directly be Brooke's fault at all. Whatever the hell it is, it actually won't be her fault. But just the fact that she's advocating for Hope to have a relationship with her father, which is, actually completely reasonable, is going to be enough to be the reason why he feels it's over with and he's free to blow it up. He's like one of those guys who wants to break up with you, but he doesn't want it to be said that he broke up with you, so he just starts acting like an enormous asshole so you'll do it.
I don't look at it like that. I think Belle is going a different route now, but I will tell you what I don't like. I
Yeah.
don't like the fact that Ridge keep harping on um Hope and Deacon's relationship because he don't want them. He want Thomas to be with Douglas. So why he don't just stay the hell out of it? But two though, I do because we all know Deacon camping out over there with Sheila, and I don't want any of my grand tots or my Taylor tots to be hurt by that because of Hope's relationship with Deacon. I
I
don't.
already told
So,
y'all what's gonna happen. She gonna
and
Hmm.
I believe,
crisscross agreement with Deacon where he
yeah,
get her access to Finn. She'll try to help him get access to Brooke. And
that's right. And
um,
I think, and that's why I don't. That's why I'm like, I'm kind of okay. I don't like that Ridge is still trying to come between Hope and Deacon, but I need him to try to come between those two because of that. I mean, because that's probably what's gonna happen. The cake and ice cream, they gonna get they mix. So one gonna bring the cake, one gonna bring the ice cream. I do believe Bubbles' theory is gonna have to happen like that in order to make Sam's theory come true with is going to affect Douglas in some kind of way or one of Ridge's children, and that's going to be the final say for Thomas to put his foot down and go and get Douglas. But darling, but as far as like Ridge just finding a chicken shit reason to leave Brooke, I think he really loves Brooke. I mean, come
He
on, these
does.
two been together for 20 years. I don't think he's looking for a reason to get out. I just feel like it was a passive, he had a very passive reaction to the whole, he never dealt with it. And he got to deal with that shit because, for one, he is over there falling in love with Taylor. Two, he loves Brooke. And he might be kind of finding a reason to stay. But every time he walk in that house, you got Liam over there, Deacon, Deacon, Deacon. You got Hope over there, Deacon, Deacon, Deacon. He have no choice but to face it. That's how I'm looking at it. Like they gonna drag it out of him. Regardless if he want to hear it or not, they about to drag it out of him, and he got to face it. And I really feel like that is what like he over there. Like, okay, I love it over here. I love being with Taylor. I love being with my children. But what does that mean for me and Brooke? Does that mean I want to be with Taylor? Does that mean I should leave Brooke? I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know the direction Brad is gonna go with it, but excuse me, but I feel like that's where we're at. I don't think it's a chicken shit moment. I think that Bridge have to face these. He's been pushing it down, darling. He has to face it. He never dealt with that picture. He have to face Brooke. He have to fight it out with Brooke. He
He
never really
does.
dealt with that kiss. Because he forgave. He just instantly forgave what he did when the truth came out after Taylor told him what they learned from Douglas. You know, what did he do? He went over there and gave Brooke instantly. We were all like, "What? Wait a minute, what the what?" Yeah,
because
but
he knows that's her pattern. Why keep fighting it?
yeah,
Why
yeah,
keep fighting it? This is her pattern. Why keep fighting it? I understand why he threw in the towel. He's like, well, shit. I mean, we've been doing this shit for 30 years. She said she ain't mean to do it. I'm gonna
yeah,
take her back because I always do. Because at the end of the day, she really didn't mean to do it,
mm,
but she did it because
yeah,
that's just who she is, following her heart, her big old heart that she has to follow all the time. So I
yeah.
just this shit because we married and we just got back together. So I just won't give it a dick, but I mean,
Yeah.
she mine. I'm a keeper. I'm a stand by. I'm a keeper.
Yeah.
And
I
that's the,
mean, because that's what they do every year. It's the same old toxic shit.
but now
And
Every
yeah,
he
year.
has a choice. Now he has
now he
a
has a
choice, and
choice.
it's
Yeah.
like, well, oh no, I got a choice now. What am I supposed to do? Stay where you went. Stay where.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do. Stay where you went because at this point in the game, we don't need you no more. We don't need you no more. Stay where you at. Work through it with your wife and her baby daddy, and her little minion. Y'all work all that out up there in home. Hell, Deacon could probably move into Hope's little backyard. Let
And
her
Ridge would go with and they would write Ridge. That's how they're gonna write him. I mean, he's been an ass for this long, so why not keep it going?
Yeah, they're gonna keep it consistent. They'll keep that consistent at least, I believe. You are correct about that. I feel because, and I guess maybe he's not a chicken shit. I don't know, but I just kind of feel like he it's like he can't make the decision based on how things stand in his marriage with Brooke right now. He's not ready to make any decisions. He's not ready to make any choices. He's not ready to change the status quo. Because as long as he can go to Malibu or the Forrester office or Eric's house and,
Right.
act real coupley with Taylor and
Yeah.
then still go home to Beverly Hills and still have Brooke still legally be his wife, he seems like he's okay with that for the most part.
For right
Like
now,
he's
yeah.
like he can keep that boat. He can go do that all day, all night for the rest of the damn year.
Right. Because that's the thing, because Taylor is not, you know, forcing him or pushing him into a decision. She hasn't
Right.
laid her, to say, hey, you are what I want. So, you're going to do, what are you going to do? Because, this is going to be over. Until Taylor does that or Brooke does that, Ridge is going to be the waffle. He's going to be the one standing in between,
He's
like
gonna
they
be the
had.
fence rider.
That's right. He's going to be the fence rider. And he has to make that choice. I mean, for right now, Taylor, what we see Taylor doing. I mean, she's just, just going with the flow of
She pretty
things.
much minding her business for the most
She
part,
minding
and
her
she's
business
just
and
there.
letting him. That's right. She's minding her business. She has not inserted herself, and which I feel is good. Um, for right now. And now what I would like is for them to bring in somebody for Taylor to date or something, or at least say I'm going out on a date. Can
It
we have that?
honestly, that's part, and I think that's part of what bothers me. Like case in point, the spoiler tomorrow about the paint fight. We've all seen the pictures. Now, in my head, the only way I feel any of this is acceptable is that when Ridge walk his sorry ass in the door, they turn the paint on him and throw it on his ass because he deserved it. But
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen because that's not how Bo works.
Right. Yes.
So they're gonna sit up there, have a paint fight. Then Ridge is gonna come in like the principal and ask them, "What are you doing?" And they're gonna both be there shamefaced and trying to explain their incredibly immature actions. And the whole time I'm gonna be sitting there like, okay, the fight was probably entertaining or whatever, but your ass is the one who's about 50% responsible for some of the friction here. Now the Douglas stuff is a
I
different
think it's
issue.
gonna be about Douglas because I can apparently because I can see the little paintboard in the background
Hmm.
on the spoiler picture. So I'm thinking that Douglas, she was probably over there painting with her grandson. I mean, because we had what 2 or 3 days. How long Taylor has been back? And the last week was the only week we have seen her on screen with Douglas. So I'm thinking she's already going to be there painting with Douglas. Douglas may go off into the media room or something. I don't know. Maybe him and his dad take off, and Brooke is going to come through there laying down her rules. And I'm thinking that's how the paint start is going to start. I don't think it's going to be about Ridge, but I do think it's going to be regarding Douglas. But I do want to ask y'all, did y'all see that tweet that Candace tweeted out to
About
see
the
that
writing,
post she did?
yes,
Uh-huh.
I responded to it,
Did
and
you,
all of them, every single one.
What?
Did you see it, Bubbles? Yeah. So
No, I'm
Candace,
asking you what.
yes,
Oh,
so
Candace.
Candace sent out a poll to ask viewers, how do we like the way these soaps write women, and do we feel like they need new writers for these said women? And then she put out for Bold, um GH,
She
and Young and
included
the
all the
Restless.
soaps.
She put all the soaps, and I answered it. I responded because I know Candace take notes, and I know she gives feedback. She puts in our feedback. But yes, she sure did. She asked, how do we feel about how the women are being written on the show, and would we opt for new writers? And
Which
I
show? Yeah.
responded. I
Yeah,
responded.
let me go see if I can see what the
Yeah,
results
see
are
if you
today.
can find it so you can show Bubbles.
Because yeah, for well, I won't be able to because I'm on mobile. But I answered it honestly. A lot of people had the same answer. Okay, here it is. So far, okay, the poll's done. Okay, so
Okay.
Candace and Bold won it. There were 298 votes. 44% went to Bold, 32% went to General Hospital, 16% went to Young and the Restless, and 8% went to Days. So
Yeah.
her question was worded as following. Okay, real talk, soap fans. Which soap do you think needs a new writer to write the women better? Think about how the women of the shows are currently being written for. And
Yeah.
my answer was, I said honestly, every single one of them, but Bold has that issue because it's been a consistent issue with them for decades. Because it's just like, yeah, writing in daytime for women is not it's not what it should be. But Bold has had consistent problems for years in how they characterize their women. So yeah, so out of 298, they got 48%. So that's 44%, excuse me. So yeah, that's not quite half, but it's damn near.
That surprises me. That's a shame because I feel like more women probably watch soaps than men. And why would women think it's okay for Bold to write women like that? I mean, really? Come on, guys. Seriously, ladies, get your shit together.
Oh, he's been doing that for
Sam, your
decades at this
phone, is
point.
that Sam trying to talk?
No. What's wrong? My
Oh,
phone?
okay.
Oh, but your phone, your audio is messing up again.
Yeah, that's sad, guy. I mean, what you think about that, Bubbles? Come on.
I mean, it is what it is. Women, men have always been soap writers, and they have always told the narrative. They've always written. Um, Let me see what she's saying. Oh, what's something reason writer to write the women better? I mean, Bold does have the worst women out there. As far as the way that the women act. But everybody on Bold needs new writers. Like the men are trash, and
Yeah,
the women are trash collectors.
yeah,
So all of it needs to be changed. We focus on the women because we're women and we don't want to see the women acting like that. But I don't want to see no man acting like Ridge and Liam do, bouncing
yeah.
between somebody every other month. You got a new partner. Like throw the whole thing away. Start over fresh. They got Ridge out here looking like he suffered a stroke or something because he can't remember one thing from the next day to the next day. He tired of Brooke, but he won't. He falling in love with Taylor, but I'm trying to make it work with my wife. Then why do you always have your hands all over Taylor? And why is
Yes,
he letting you? Because if he had tried to kiss me in Monte Carlo, I'm sorry, sir, but my hair is not blonde and my name ain't Brooke, so you might need to go find your wife. I'm very happy that my daughter's life has been set back on track, but I'm not happy enough to remember that you is ashy ain't shit kind of a man
yeah,
trying to put your
that is
guts
true.
on me. Boy, you better be glad we got caught up in the moment. And that's all this shit was for me. Don't be hanging your head on nothing because we just had a moment. I passed out and thought it was 1995 again. I don't know what the fuck happened, but don't be thinking that you're gonna be touching on me and rubbing up on me and kissing me all the time while you not happy with your wife, but you running back home to her and accepting the status quo. Boy, bye. Take
Yeah,
your
I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to have put Taylor to where they just start like a full on affair or something while he's still with Brooke. I don't want that. I'm not here for that. And
Brittany,
I wasn't here for the fact how they had after he left the party. I mean, he left the party and went straight to the Olive Garden to dive on Deacon and went straight home, and it's like, what the hell? I was very unhappy about that. Very unhappy about the way that was written. I mean, I'm tired, guys. I'm
Brittany's
tired of it.
not gonna leave Brooke until she fucks Liam.
I mean, but can we talk about that chemistry test? Because I believe that's what that was.
I think they are chemistry testing Liam and Brooke
I
because
think so.
he at the house way too much for my liking. You know,
Way too much.
started for me. And y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but let me rewind and paint the entire picture. This is how I know. Because once upon a time, Bill Spencer ain't want shit to do with Brooke Logan. He detested the very ground that she walked on. He told Katie her sisters was hoes, and she was the better, and he didn't like her being around them. But them your sisters, okay. But I don't want them hoes around me. So
Right,
you keep them down there in Homeby Hills. You can go visit them, but don't bring them bitches in my house because I don't even like them bitches. And
right.
then one night, Ridge and Brooke and Bill and Katie went to dinner. I can't remember if they was at Il Giardino's or if they was at somebody's house. But the four of them went to dinner. Brooke spilled water on her dress, on her shirt. And in them 2 seconds of her spilling that water on her top, Bill then had a full-fledged fucking fantasy about doing it with Brooke. After
Mm,
all the years of talking about how he didn't want shit to do with them, that was the start of their chemistry test. Now,
mm,
fast forward. Y'all remember when Brooke came in the house and Liam had his shirt off and Hope looked at him like, if you don't put your fucking clothes on right now.
mm-hmm.
And we all sat there like, why was Liam got dressed real fast when Brooke came in the house? And a lot of the like, well, that's just showing respect. You don't walk around other
I
people
remember that.
clothes on, but they were at a pool party. So why would you be at a pool party getting dressed? You're at
Yeah,
a pool party. Why would he put his shirt on? They're at a pool party. In all the years of men having their shirts off on this show, ain't nobody never rushed to put their shirt on as no fucking sign of respect to nobody. That's part of what we liked about the show. The men were on display. They built a whole damn sky bar with a workout center so that we could see these men taking their work break, their lunch break, going up to the roof and taking off their clothes to work out.
yeah,
They ain't never been shy about showing us that. But I'm telling y'all, I feel it in my bones. Just like I
yeah,
felt it in my bones when Brooke spilled that water and Bill had that fucking fantasy. I said, this is where they're going. Brooke is fixing to take Bill from Katie, and there ain't gonna be shit we can do about it. And they waited a little bit. They gave us a beat long enough that we could forget that Bill was sitting there fantasizing about Brooke. And then the next thing we know, Katie having a breakdown, and she making all these little happy memories for Brooke and Bill so that they can fall in love to while she out here about losing her damn mind. This thing with Liam and his shirt and him being kind of shy around Brooke.
mm-mm.
Shy around Brooke because he know that Brooke fucks her daughter's men. So
That's right.
he preemptive for his wife because he don't want his wife to worry that his dick is gone straight. But they did that. Now they have all these scenes where Liam just comes up to the house to visit Brooke. They've been living on that property for how many years, and Liam ain't never just, I'm just gonna run up to the house to see what Brooke doing. Just arbitrarily going to the house to talk to Brooke about Thomas and Hope. Why?
Yeah, yeah,
Just I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm gonna go talk to my mother-in-law, my wife, and this child we all stole.
yeah,
Liam is fixing to take the ultimate plunge. I give it to Christmas. You know, Brooke like to fuck up on the holidays.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. What gonna happen is Hope is gonna end up losing that little boy because of something that Deacon does.
Yeah.
Hope is gonna lash out because she can't believe that her daddy did this. Ain't nobody really supporting her or nothing. She hurt and angry. Hell, she might even turn to Thomas because that's Thomas's son, and she just needs to spend some time with Douglas. Can I just come spend the night at the house with you guys? And
Mm-hmm.
while now, Liam's gonna be at the house with Brooke upset. I don't know where Hope is. You know his famous line. She turned off her phone, so I can't track her. So
Yeah.
like when Steffi turned off her phone, when she got upset, she turned off her phone, and he
Yeah.
couldn't track her, and she went to the house, and then she ended up sleeping with Bill. This
Yeah.
time it's gonna be Hope turned off her tracker, and Liam can't find her. He all upset. Brooke upset. They gonna end up comforting each other.
That's right.
And it ain't gonna be on no floor because Brooke Logan don't fuck on floors. Liam
No.
get some
Oh
good.
no, she needs a bed, honey. Even
Liam
if
is
she's hers.
right. He fixing to roll the wrinkles out of Brooke's bed. She said, you know, Brooke ain't had no sex with Ridge. She ain't been with Ridge since before New Year's. They ain't been themselves. So Brooke
This
is
is a long dry spell.
For Brooke, yes.
Yes.
that her stuff is twanging. She's so dry. She
Oh man.
Liam gonna be distraught. Oh, I just don't know what to do. Hope it's not. She gonna be distraught, but it's gonna be mostly distraught because this dry spell that she's been in for the past. We almost going on a year that Brooke Logan ain't had sex, y'all.
Yeah.
And a whole married woman at that.
A
Yeah.
whole ass year she ain't had sex, y'all. She is gonna do something reckless and crazy because she has Ridge, but she don't have him. And we
Yeah.
know anytime that Brooke ain't got a man, she does something reckless and crazy. She
She
is
looked for one.
y'all. She gonna have Liam in the bed by New Year's.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
Bubbles, I'm going to go ahead and say I think you might be on to something because you're
Yeah.
correct. When they took that, Bill had a consistent character trait that was ingrained from the second he hit the scene, since he came back with a mandate from his father to make that bitch pay for making Stephanie miserable for so many years.
Yes.
He had a mandate of that involved not just the destruction and the removal of Brooke from Forrester, but the fact that she was a low common slut from the valley, and he never wanted nothing to do with her like that. I remember when he called her and Donna jealous little hussies or something.
Yes.
Exactly. So he always had a very low opinion of Brooke. And then just like that, Brooke went up her shirt at a damn dinner, and then it turned on a whole dime. When that happened, you could hear the record screech like it was in the club, and all the music stopped. Everybody's like, "Why the hell is Bill having a fantasy about Brooke? What the f is this?"
Right. We're
That
sitting
was
up
just
there
loud.
and like Brooke is. Hold
Yeah,
on.
what just happened? That's what it was. Come on.
Exactly. So, and yes, I agree with you. The
I'm
context
just
clues are very, very interesting because when Brooke came in there and Liam put that shirt on, I could that felt like a signal of we've had a talk about this, and you ain't supposed to be out here with all your guns pumped and showing and bang glistening in front of my mama because she
Right.
got problems in that area. Kind of like how you don't have alcohol in the house around somebody who's in AA.
yeah. She in
You,
sex A. SA.
Cannot have
Sex
men
addict.
around the house with Brooke. And Brooke needs to go to Sex Addicts Anonymous. She's been needs to go to Sex Addicts Anonymous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, it's just following her heart. Not that she
That's
needs
what
to
they
bang
call it.
every man in town.
That's what they call it. She following her heart. Yeah, but there was a definitely chemistry test, and I think he asked her like 2 or 3 times why I could, go back and wait at the cabin for her, and and Brooke was like, "No,
No,
darling,
no, no.
you
You can stay
you
here.
can stay," and she always so close to him. Like when Ridge walked through the door, I mean, she had them. If she would have just one more step, she would have had them titties all in. And Liam knows.
I mean, and
Something
that's
gonna
the
happen.
thing.
I'm telling y'all. Maybe her ankle gonna give out on her. She gonna trip and Liam gonna
But
catch her, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be the
And
minute
he,
Liam touches her to keep her. You know he loves saving people. That's how he got bound up with Steffi when
and
out there performing fucking CPR. Now you got a whole wife in a love triangle. Lord, if
and
they put
see,
Liam in the triangle with his wife and his fucking mother-in-law, you know what? They can do whatever they want on this show because I will be happy.
Oh,
Why?
I will shut up so quick. And one of the things about Brooke that you have to watch for her in advance is, and I guess maybe this may be because of how the staging works, is that, how do I put this? I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but I pay attention to the blocking that they have for the character, the proximity, so to speak, of her to specific characters going when it feels like something is in the air. And the thing is, not that her and Liam are all, cozied up and cuddled, but what Bubble said is right. For some reason, usually when you see them in a scene together, if Hope is not present, the proximity between Brooke and Liam isn't that large.
They
It's
be so
not.
close. They
They be
pre-COVID
close.
close. They be pre-COVID close.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
telling
and I know they don't have the restrictions anymore or anything, but it always just struck me as a little strange, a little not super weird, like, because it doesn't look like it's. I don't know if that's intentional. I'm assuming that it is, because
Yeah.
if Hope is there or Ridge is there, it's normally not an issue at all. But when it's just the two of them having a conversation, or if he's come up somewhere or she's popped up somewhere, the proximity it's not there. And that kind of gives me pause to wonder why.
because they sneaking around.
Yeah.
They sneaking around. Because Hope is gonna be just too busy trying to steal up a baby. And
Yeah.
they
He could be
really
over there with Thomas. Yeah.
they should have did this at the beginning when Hope was spending all her time trying to get this boy, but she and Brooke were plotting at that time, and Liam was completely left out of the sync.
Yeah.
She needs to rub it in Hope's face. So listen, Electra Storm said we need Hope's sister to come back and say how you doing. And for 2 seconds, I sat here like, who the fuck is Hope's sister? That's how much they use Bridget, y'all. I had to sit here
Mm,
and remember
and
that
you had to think.
Bridget is Hope's sister. But would it not be
Wow.
the most delicious thing for Brooke to fuck around and accidentally, of course, it's never on purpose. She gonna
Of
Yeah.
course.
accidentally sleep with Liam, and then that's what brings Bridget back home. And then they end up dealing with this whole shit with her deal. You did this again? You
Yeah.
learned the first time,
Yeah.
but
Well,
then
they wrote it off. They forgave her the first time. Yeah, it's okay, Mom. You did nothing wrong. So yeah, they never dealt with that. I don't like that. I mean, I felt like they just swept that under the cover and tried to clean Brooke up. But if she sleeps with Liam, it's definitely going to give a reason for Bridget to finally deal with how she really felt about her mother having a baby for her love, the love of her life. Because she was head over heels for Deacon. She loved Deacon. So I never bought that, well, I'm going to forgive you, Mom crap. I never bought it. And I feel like they never dealt with it. And I want to see that happen on screen.
it took Bridget a long time to get there though, because she laid into Brooke in the beginning. If I'm not mistaken, she slapped
She
her.
did.
The only reason that she forgave Brooke is because her and Stephanie delivered Hope.
That's right. That's
That was
right.
Exactly.
the only reason that she forgave Brooke. And I think that's why they named Hope Hope, because she was hope for them to all get back together and be a family again.
Oh, Lord.
Mm. Oh
It's
Lord,
trash.
that was
It's
that
trash.
it was nuts. It was that. I mean, Jennifer Finnegan did that. She laid that story so flat that
Mm,
you couldn't find even a hair standing up on it. That's how good her portrayal of Bridget being completely portrayed by Brooke was to this day. She earned that. She earned them Emmys in those years when she was on.
Girl,
But
you go back and watch the old videos. You start with that baby shower that they were throwing Brooke for Hope. And
hmm
had to go do something, and Deacon came over, and him and Brooke was upstairs talking, and Bridget came back, and it was all on the baby monitor. That the whole reaction, all of that, her being gutted, that was fucking prime. Jennifer,
mm.
yes, she did that shit. She did it. She did.
And that was plausible.
But Ashley Jones, I don't know they've given her a performance yet where she can touch. I'm sorry, Sam. I don't know that they've given Ashley Jones any scenes where she can touch what Jennifer Finnegan did in those scenes some 20 some 30 some years ago because she was flawless.
Well, I want to know why did they come so far from that? I just feel like because the only good stories, I mean, everything else is so wash, rinse, repeat. I mean, like nobody want to see another triangle with Ridge straddling and Taylor and Brooke. You know, nobody want to see that. But all the only stories we have now is Sheikon and Thomas and Douglas. That's it. You know, they Quinn is gone. Zoe's gone. You know, I mean, like everything, the Avons are gone. Why did they come so far and why did they change everything? I felt like the worst mistake the show could have done was to try to clean the Logans up. I mean, they've completely, we don't even see Bill. We know Bill before Lee came into the picture. The only time we saw Bill, he was coming out here to sing book praises. And once a week, when we grew up on this show, little children watching with our mothers or whatnot, the Spencers hated the Logans. I mean, it was that is what though that made the story fire. We had those little 17 minutes that we had of Bold. Bold was the hottest show in town. From As the World Turned to All My Children, One Life to Live, Days of Our Life. That little 17-minute show was fire. It beat all of them. Even without Sally, even without Grant, even without all of these great players, they're still doing what happened. You know, why did they come so far from when it was good? Because those stories back then, I know he calls it what we don't want to do, you know, like I know you're trying to clean up Brooke, you're trying to clean up the Logans, but that's what made that angst is what made the show so root worthy. Why are they coming so much from that? Why we can't find nobody to write a decent story for Bo? And why today we spent nearly 10 minutes between you know them the whole time talking about who Deacon over there sleeping with. I mean, are we really going back to that
That
when
was
we don't,
hilarious.
you
I
know
mean,
what I'm saying? Like,
it was
what's happening here?
it was hilarious for me because my first thing was that okay, one, why is my bill $20 smaller? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to look at this later. I'm getting off sidetrack. Excuse me.
See,
Because the thing is, first of all, a hope could and see, and this is the thing. This is why people. This was a textbook example, and why people don't tell they business to children they have when they have kids like Hope. Hope showed up unannounced, and even Deacon even said, you know, maybe next time call first, which is totally normal. It is one of the worst things you can do in polite society these days is show up at somebody's damn house when you're not expected. It is the worst thing, one of the worst things that you could do. I have friends who have done that, and the first thing I've said is, "Bitch, what you doing here? Did we have an appointment on the books? Was I supposed to be? Girl, I was just passing by. Why you didn't keep passing by? You couldn't call me. You don't know what I was doing up in here. You're lucky you're my
Right,
friend, and I'm even gonna let you in the damn door." So
right.
so it's but as soon as she left and she was back at home with her mom and Ridge and Liam, she was busy spilling every drop of tea she had, and she
You
ain't
see
even have
that?
enough for a full cup.
You see?
Oh, who is she? And here's the thing, they was all in the tea too. Well, who is she? First of all, one, Ridge, Ridge could have shut the hell up altogether because you keep saying you're so concerned about Deacon being around Brooke. So you should be grateful that he got some spooky in his life. Whether it's serious, whether it's a booty call, that's a good sign. That's a sign that he's not trying to be around your wife after you was just yelling in his face at his place of business, which is a whole
Right.
nother story. So you should be happy about it instead of you sitting up here. And then when Ridge popped up with that thing, well, what woman would want to be with Deacon? And I'm like,
Yours.
you standing next to her,
Yours.
you idiot. What the hell?
That's how Brooke, you seen how Brooke cut eyes at him too? She was probably wanting to tell him the same thing.
Like, oh well, who would want to be with Deacon? I'm like, You're standing next to the woman who was with Deacon, who had a child with Deacon. The child of the product of that union is right on the other side of the damn room. And then,
They was
if that is
gone.
not enough, also the daughter of that woman's daughter was also with Deacon. So it's like,
Dumb. It was
sir,
dumb. It was so dumb. That's what I'm saying, darling. That whole scene was worthless. Why
it
are
really
we
was.
going back to worthless writing? I mean, because they were doing so well with Sin's storyline and Steffi and Sheila. I mean,
And I
I
had a
just,
lot of hopes for the
I
storyline for Douglas
did.
and whatnot. I'm still hopeful about the outcome. I do still think that it is going to overall end with Douglas staying with Thomas full time, but I just feel like the road that we are taking to get there is going to be paved with disappointment.
Oh, man.
I want Douglas to run away from home still. I'm not going to be happy until Douglas runs away from home because he wants to be with his daddy and his psycho adoptive mommy is sitting here with this chokehold on him to where she's every 5 minutes got to call. Well, Douglas, is everything okay? How is things over there with your dad? Bitch, I am fine. I am living in a mansion with a goddamn TV room and a popcorn popper. Why are you still calling me? I'm not trying to go back to that shed sleeping next to the lawnmower and the hoe. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Don't you know what? I'm going to change my phone number. You need to talk to me. Call my daddy or something, but you got to stop calling my phone, lady. I'm not even your kid. I'm just trying to live my life with my cousins and my family. And your ass is over
Oh my gosh.
here.
Bubbles, bubbles. You know what? I don't even realize if you realize what you just said. That would be music to my ears if Douglas just pop off on Hope and tell her, "You ain't my mama. Caroline is my mother."
I really
Boom.
want that. Like she needs to have that reminder because they keep talking about Hope is the only mother Douglas has known. That boy was fucking 6 years old when Caroline died. He knew his mama for 6 whole years. About his mama for a whole 6 months before you even got it in your little pea brain to get some papers drawn up so you can steal them. This little boy knows Caroline is his mama. The only
Yeah,
reason he calls Hope Mommy Hope is because his daddy told him it's okay if you want to think about Hope as being like your mama because your mama
yeah,
gone. That's fine.
yeah.
He started calling her Mommy Hope. Her eyes got big as fucking dollars. Say the $quarter. Mommy. He called me mommy. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Mommy. And then she took that shit and ran with it. But no,
yeah.
ma'am, his mother, he came out of Caroline Forrester up there at the Forrester Mansion. We all watched it. You wouldn't even hear. That is not your little boy to lay claim to. And I want Douglas to be like, just like he was before. I really appreciate living here with you guys. I've had fun. I enjoy your company. I like my little sister cousin. But it's time for me to go home and be with my dad now. I
Yeah.
have fun with you guys. I appreciate the stability that you have afforded me over these past 18, 24 months. But it's time for me to take my rightful place up here at the Forrester Mansion because I am a Forrester Maroney Spencer. I'm about to be a fucking billionaire someday. I cannot be living in such deplorable conditions. I'm gonna be over here at the house with my family. And if you don't like it, I mean, go make a baby, lady. I
Yeah.
can't be your emotional support animal for the rest of my motherfucking life. I'm
I mean, that's the part that's hilarious, Bubbles, is all this tension that Hope has and that Brooke has, it is completely removed from Douglas. He's
Yeah.
not feeling any of this. He's feeling like I'm at my great grandpa's house. I'm having a good time with my
Time.
dad
Yeah.
and
And
with the
he
fam,
happy.
and this is just fabulous. But they're
Yeah.
feeling all this tension and all this
He's gonna be
turmoil
confused. He's not gonna
because
understand. Yeah.
that boy is not two.
right. He is not 6 months old. He understands. exactly what's going on, and he's been telling y'all since before he turned into a preteen that he want to go back to the damn
He's
hills.
been saying it. Thank you. And
Yes.
that's the part, that's another thing. He's been saying it, and Queen Hannon, the queen of receipts, have been putting those receipts all over Twitter. Every year since he got to that shed, Douglas has been saying, okay, this is good, but when are we gonna live together? When am I gonna live with daddy? Mommy Hope, you said we were gonna live with daddy. You said we were gonna be a family with daddy. Can I go live with daddy now? He was over there with Paris. Are you going to live with me and my dad in our new house? I mean, stop me if I'm wrong. Anybody jump in here if I'm wrong. Cut me out. But hasn't he been saying that for the last 3 years? He been in that
Dude,
damn dungeon.
We know he
I
was
was about
a real sign.
I was about done when Liam's sorry ass got through in jail for turning Vinny into a pancake, and when Hope was trying to explain the circumstance to Douglas without really explaining the circumstance to Douglas, and that boy popped up and said, "Oh, well, can my daddy move in?" I
Yeah.
went,
Douglas
Since
said,
Liam done, he did.
Douglas said, I don't give a fuck about Liam. Can my daddy stay since you got room now? We got space now. We done lost a whole ass Liam. My daddy can come now.
"Oh, my dad, exactly."
Girl, that's what we've been waiting on. You said we were gonna be a family, and Liam is out the picture. You know what would have been better? And I said it since the minute they brought Douglas because I felt like Henry could play it. But I really wanted Douglas to get there in that house with Hope and Liam and turn into a fucking bad seed and start doing shit to Liam to get him to leave, like putting Liam shampoo and
Yeah.
kind of stuff that the little girls would do to their stepmamas. You know how Victoria used to treat Ashley back in the day. I wanted
Hmm.
to see Douglas be a whole fucking holy terror, and all of his anger aimed at Liam. It's because of you that my mommy and my daddy can't be together. I'm gonna make sure I get rid of you. Like he doing all kinds of, and Liam is his cousin. He don't care. I don't give a fuck you, my mama cousin. I want my mommy and my daddy together, and you're in the way, guy. So I'm gonna have to get rid of you somehow. Like he creating shit. Aunt Steffi said Kelly's choking. You need to come right now. And Liam, take off, Brenda. How he know this boy talking to Steffi on the phone? He's not. But Liam just stupid. Like I wanted to see Douglas be a bad kid for a little bit, acting out because why wouldn't he have acted out? His mama just died. He's grieving, and now he'd have moved away from the only home he did know, which was in New York, to come
Yeah.
home to be part of the Foresters. Like all of that and that grief should have turned him into a bad seed, but we got to see Douglas be Hope's hero over and over. Like they really used the child to save this woman over and over and over and over and over again. When he should
Yeah.
have been the one bringing the hell. He should have been the one throwing up the fake ghost on walls and shit. Douglas
Yeah.
should have been the one terrorizing people. And I feel like
Yeah.
they missed that opportunity because Henry has a way, and we've seen him smile where it kind of looks like, is he being
It
devious?
was a little devilish smile. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like he was looking at Brooke when he was in that window looking at Brooke and Deacon. I was like, what the hell Douglas about to do?
Right. Like, you
They're like,
know,
"Child, what you doing out there at night?"
but they ain't never let him do that. And now he's too old to be going all bad seed, red rumming on shit. But that's what they should have did with Douglas. And I bet you Hope wouldn't have wanted his ass. But
Yeah.
now he's at 369 Willow Hill Road. He's not trying to go back out there to the shack in the back of Homeby Hills. He's not doing that. The house on Willow Hill Road has got a screening room for him and his cousins to sit and do whatever they want. They got space like they at the movie theater. They
Yeah.
probably watch all the Harry Potter movies. And
Yeah.
at the house, at the cabin, do they even got a TV at the cabin?
Probably not.
So
But I bet you Hope don't believe in TV.
I mean, look at how she dressed. So, I probably not.
that's why she make him go read all the damn time because ain't nothing else
Oh,
to do.
poor child. He's so bored in there. But Bubbles, I was so looking forward because Douglas was giving me what's the Jason? He was giving when he was looking in that moment, he was giving me Jason vibes. I was like, I I need him to. Like I needed that. Like any given moment, I was waiting for Douglas to just pop off and do something crazy. And this is the best time for him to. I want him to do more than just start running away. I want him to start sabotaging just any and everything that he can do. I want him to have not just Liam, Hope and Liam. I want him to make them so angry they want to send him out to his dad. But I don't think we're gonna get it, Bubbles. For some reason, I feel like we're not gonna get it.
Well, we really ain't gonna get it if Hope walk in on her mama and her husband going at it. She gonna need Douglas. Hope needs Douglas now
Oh,
more than ever. That's gonna be the excuse to try to get Hope needs. I know I made the mistake, but Hope needs Douglas now more than ever. She can't lose her husband and her son at the same time. And what the fuck is Liam going? Y'all, Liam, oh my God. So he ain't got Steffi to bounce to.
yeah,
Ain't nobody else for him to bounce to but Brooke. I feel it in my pinky toe. Just
yeah,
like with that glass of water. Liam putting on his shirt and Hope looking at him like, what the fuck? That just stands out to me as too odd and too awkward to ignore.
yeah.
It's
Cause
just
he used to, cause before Finn put his stop that shit, he used to go over there and sit his butt down and and Steffi was over there playing psychiatrist. But I see him and Brooke been the ones
Mm-hmm.
that's been talking it out. I used to. He don't drive down there to the Cliff House no more. He over there with Brooke
Hell
now
no,
talking
that
it out.
house is occupied, and it's occupied by Mr. John Matthew Finnegan. So
Doggone right. Say it
if he
again,
needs
Bobby.
Dr. John Matthew Finnegan, there are no vacancies in Malibu to be had. Move along, sir. Move
That's
along.
right. That's
but
right, baby.
listen though. Lady Sanchez just made the point that sends it home. Liam is used to running to Steffi to
Yeah,
be all in all therapist when he couldn't talk to Hope about stuff or when he wasn't talking to Hope about stuff. And now more and more, we just see him walking through the back door, through that patio door, just to be coming to lay his burdens at Brooke's feet. They laying their
yeah,
burdens at each other's feet over Hope.
yeah.
I just don't know, Liam. We have got to. What are we gonna? Girl, you better keep your drawers on because this is not the. This ain't gonna give what you wanted to give.
No, it ain't. And here's the thing, remember, that is how, if you think way back, that is how the Deacon Brooke thing first started, with them both commiserating
Yeah,
about their problems
yeah,
in their lives. She was
yeah,
upset because Thorne had thrown her ass to the side because the truth had come out about her still being as in love with Ridge as she ever was, and he really realized that he was really just being a stand-in.
yeah,
And he was upset, even though he was still with Bridget, he was upset because Amber had finally given him the what for
yeah,
and made it very clear that nothing was ever going to happen between them, that she was in love with Rick, and that was that. Even with him still being with Bridget, because we all remember how that started. He started with Bridget to screw with the Foresters.
yeah,
That was the whole reason that relationship even got off the ground. But they started off with commiserating because I still remember to this day when Brooke was up at the cabin and Stephanie came up there to read her for filth. And read her she did. At the time, she told Brooke, she's like, well, I don't know what you're going to do. She's like, because there ain't no men left. All the other Forrester men are either too old or too young. So I don't
yeah,
know who life you going to ruin now, but there's no more Forrester men for you to fool with. In the next man, so who, I don't know who the next victim of it. She's like, I wonder who the next victims will be. And the next victim was her daughter in her
yeah.
marriage.
Was that the
So
scene when Deacon was hiding back there in the
What?
was that the scene that she caught Deacon in the office when
no,
she
that
was
was
reading
no, no,
Stephen
no.
for
That
Phil?
was that was before. That was when the truth came out about when that was after Thorne overheard Brooke talking to Deacon. Okay, yeah. I had to think back about it a while.
Okay.
Brooke was talking to Deacon about love, okay?
Hmm.
And I guess they were kind of having a moment about his feelings for Amber and how they were still present. And she was sharing about how, even though she's happily married to Thorne and she loves Thorne, that it's completely possible for her to be happily married to Thorne, but still truly love Ridge. That's what cracked that relationship in half because Thorne heard that. And when
Hmm.
he heard that, that's when he knew this shit was over with. And he was like, this got to be over with. And so and
Hmm.
then it all ended up in a mess. And they ended up at the cabin with
That's when she
her.
ran out and he left on the ground. It was raining or
Well, Ridge,
something,
well,
huh?
yeah, she was up at the cabin, and Ridge had
Hmm.
gone up there, and she was basically trying to convince Ridge, I guess, that it was some big misunderstanding. But the thing is, when she was saying all that, Thorne walked up again, and for the second time, he heard her ass talking about how important what her and Ridge had was. After she's already made this mistake once, she then turned around and doubled down. And for the second time, got eavesdropped on by her husband, and that punched a permanent hole in her marriage. Now, Stephanie ended up going up there to basically drag her for filth because it was over with. It was done. Brooke Forrester had played her last card. There was nothing else for her to do. And as far as Stephanie was concerned, it was time to celebrate because she had run through all the men in the family, and there was nobody else for her to run through.
Yeah.
Then, then the next big storyline there was her and Deacon ending up in bed together. So the timing for all of this is very interesting, and what Lady Sanchez what was said is very, very correct. It is right, Lady Sanchez, that him that Liam does not have that outlet of talking to Steffi about whatever his latest turmoils is. The only people he can talk to is Wyatt, his wife, and his daddy. And Wyatt ain't hardly ever around, and he can only talk to. And him and Bill, they talk whenever they talk. But yes, I'm just like I'm on the lookout for Hope to be pouring a little something extra in her cup. I'm gonna be paying attention to these Liam and Hope these Liam and Brooke conversations.
They too close for my liking.
Well, and you know what I say?
Very
I
close.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? And you know what I'm gonna say to that is that I'm sorry. I don't care how much forgiveness there is in the family or what. But if I was the product of my mother having decided that she wanted to sleep with my sister's husband, I would not be living in her backyard with mine.
Well, honey, she might as well say that now because that backyard coming to the big house.
Yes, right, baby.
Mm.
That backyard get coming. Liam been creeping in them back doors a lot lately, and it's so because that's how he would ease up in Steffi house too. That's a sorry piece of shit. I can't stand Liam. I mean, yeah. And lay here, you're the only person I can talk to. But to me, what got me today was that hit. Uh, should I go ahead on and go back to the house and wait for Hope? Now a man ain't no good when he have to ask himself, what you think? What you think you should be waiting at? I mean, do you think it's wise for you to be sitting up here waiting at your mother-in-law for your wife to come home for what? At this
And
time of night.
and
Liam is not slick.
Mother-in-law's house waiting on your wife to come home.
Yeah, she got.
Baby, and the damn
he
baby
was that.
sleeping at somebody's house.
Yeah, he said the
Yeah,
sitter, she was still at the sleepover when he made it there Friday. She was still at the sleepover. And then apparently today, didn't he say, darling, he got a
that she
call
would
that
be
she was.
that yeah, that she would be home soon. So my thing is this: so you're trying to tell me you were kicking it around at the cabin by yourself because your daughter wasn't home, your wife wasn't home, and Douglas is over at the Forrester mansion. So you were kicking it around by yourself, and you decided to, and you know your wife went off to go see Deacon. So you decided to just go mosey up and go chitter chat with your mother-in-law.
Well,
Okay.
he used to tell Hope that I'm going to visit my daughter, but he wind up sitting on the couch with Steffi for 2, 3 hours. Hint, hint.
Cause he a fragile ass ego. That's why.
You see, like Liam is not playing. Like Liam, sit down. We know what Liam
He
doing. We
he
know exactly. Liam hitting up. I'm telling y'all, we about to get a brim. Liam is hitting. He is leaving us hits because this was his behavior with.
Did we lose her? We lost her.
Sanchez. But that's the thing. Oh, you know what, Brim? I'm fully for Brim. I am waiting to see what happens because I just don't feel like there's any that that this is normal. I'm gonna put it to you like that. I don't, and the thing is, being in Brooke's confidence about anything, and this is just because of how Brooke has interacted with men over the years. Whenever Brooke starts to get unusually close to men that she is not usually close with, it's usually not a good sign. It
Everybody.
never is.
Electra Storm said, "This is Hope's karma, girl. Everybody fixing to get some karma. Brooke gonna get her karma because Bridge is gonna go on ahead and leave her because bitch, I'm not doing this no more. No, we was worried about Deacon because he was trash. Now you did this shit with Liam. We can't sit around and call Liam trash because he's fucking Spencer and he's my grandbaby's daddy. So you out here doing these whole tactics again from 30-some years ago. Bam, bam, bam. I'm tapping out. Deuces. Brooke gonna get her karma, and Hope gonna get her karma, and it's all gonna come wrapped in a big old bow. I don't know how long it's gonna last because eventually the Logans always find themselves back on the top. But karma is coming for everybody in LA, and I can't wait. I can't
I'm
wait
waiting on it.
for
We
everybody.
may. I don't think we're gonna get this as soon as Christmas, but I'm keeping, just like I've been keeping my eyes out for that alcoholism story that may come to fruition. I'm gonna be keeping my eye out for this mess too, because I really wants to see where we are going. Because, like
Yeah,
I said, Brooke having interactions with men that she normally does not deal with, it's
yeah.
never been, historically speaking, her having one-on-one interactions with men she normally don't deal with, it's normally not a good sign. It just isn't.
It's
I'm
not.
I'm running in my head the times of whenever Brooke has, because, and I guess it's part of because of how the show characterizes Brooke. They don't characterize her as a woman who can have a close relationship or a connection with a man and not have it be connected to something illicit. They don't let her have that.
No, she don't
If
have no man friends. Carter is
no,
as
she doesn't.
Carter is as close as she got to having a man friend, and they don't really interact at all unless
Yeah,
she's going through a divorce or marriage.
you
Exactly.
know.
All the men that she's dealt with, they're either men who are her exes or men who became her exes. So, and also the other thing is, remember we talked about this before, was that we really don't have any expectations about where we're going after some of these stories wrap up, because it's only a matter of time before Sheila gets exposed, and that ends up being a whole kerfuffle that takes out 2/3 of the canvas, because it's gonna directly impact the Foresters, the Logans, and the fallout's gonna be all over the place, and that may coincide with how this story for Douglas ends up concluding. But I'm really gonna be, but other than that, we really don't have any indicators of where we're going, because Renee Sulfur leaving completely knocks quarter and everything that we had that was even associated with that completely off the wheel. It's like that knocked like that whole third of possible storylines, whether it was involving her, Eric, their divorce, Paris, Zende, Grace, all of that just got knocked off the table.
Well, it's definitely going to be some interesting times coming up. I am going to be all about Team Karma because everybody deserves theirs. I'm going to be all about
Hmm.
Brim because Bill is going to lose his fucking mind when he finds out that Brooke has bed his son. It's going to be awful.
Mm.
So we're going to wrap up on that because it's a little after 9, but we will come back tomorrow and talk again. Maybe Brooke and Leah might fall in the bed tomorrow. Who knows? Anything. Thank you guys for coming out and chatting with me. And we had a lot of people over on the YouTube side, so thank you guys for being over there. Louisa, thank you for sticking with us for 2 hours. She is in Germany, y'all, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning there right now.
Wow, you're a trooper. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Louisa.
It's 1 o'clock when we start over there. It's 3 o'clock, and she sticks with us the whole time. So I appreciate our foreign correspondent, Louisa Oakers. Look, I done gave her a title, y'all. She's a foreign correspondent.
As far as I know, we have 2 foreign correspondents. Her and I want to say, is it Hannah? I think she's in Paris or France somewhere. Those are the only 2 B&B fans I know for a fact that are not in the United States.
Well, Hannah, she hasn't been to Drinks yet.
Oh no, she hasn't, has she?
No,
you're right. She hasn't.
One that comes. So Louisa is our foreign correspondent. We got to get her on the thing at some point. So she will see. Oh, now it's 4 o'clock in the morning, girl. I'm sorry. It was 2 when she started, and now it's 4. You go in the bed. We go in the bed, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good night.
Good night, everybody.